Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Commodity TV, and it's our honor and pleasure to talk now to the Managing Director of Altona Mining, Dr. Alistair Cowden, and we want to speak about, of course, the proposed merger with Copper Mountain in Canada, and yeah, Alistair is now live in Perth with us. Alistair, welcome and glad to have you here. Well, my first question would be, you've announced a transaction with Copper Mountain Mining Corporation. Can you run through what you are proposing, please?
Sure, I'll do that, but perhaps before I start, I'd just like to acknowledge shareholders and thank them for their patience. There's been a bit of a wait for a transaction to crystallize value, and I'm really pleased to be able to talk about that today. So what we have is a scheme of arrangement. It's a merger of two companies. Whereby Copper Mountain, a Canadian-listed copper miner, is offering to acquire Altona for a nominal price of 17 cents, paid for in their shares. And their shares will be tradable on the Australian Stock Exchange. So the two companies will combine, and the scheme of arrangement essentially means the shareholders get to vote on this transaction, and would then proceed and would become one merged entity. So what the merger does is it creates a brand new mid-tier copper producer that ranks with the best on ASX, about the same scale as companies such as Sandfire in its envisaged production, and will have two large-scale mines in production. So a very, very interesting company, and one that's a little bit unique on the ASX.
Thank you. And my second question would be, are you able to provide us with an overview of Copper Mountain?
Well, Copper Mountain is, as I said, it's about a $230 million market capitalization. It produces around 40,000 tons of copper per annum, 27,000 ounces of gold, and a lot of byproduct silver as well. It's a large open pit mine in the area that's been mining for 100 years. The Copper Mountain guys are running a large, stable, efficient, low-grade operation. It's very profitable. Its costs are around $1.60 a pound. Copper's now $3.10, so it's making a lot of money. So it's a great company, an exciting company.
Great, thank you. My third question is, of course, how did this partnership come about?
Shareholders will be aware that we had a transaction with the Chinese that fell over. As that fell over in about July, August, we immediately embarked on a process to find a transaction to crystallize value for this asset. And we've been engaging with a lot of people over this time. And in our view, this transaction where we came across Copper Mountain, we knew them from before, they knew us, is the best of the options that we had in front of us. What I like about it is if you go down the path of selling the asset, you pay tax, destroys value for shareholders, no upside. If you go down the path of sole development, a lot of dilution through issuing shares, a lot of debt risk. Here, 1 + 1 = 3. You immediately you become a much bigger company, and one capable of delivering a mine like Cloncurry. So it's been an interesting process, and one that I think's delivered, as I said, a 1 + 1 = 3 outcome.
And of course, what are the benefits of the transaction for Altona shareholders, which is an important question for sure?
I think there are many. So first one, most obvious one, is we get a 42% premium to our last trading price, 17 cents over 12 cents. That's a substantial uplift payable in Copper Mountain stock. The second is you become a producer overnight. That also means you've got cash flow in the company you're exposed to. You also, I think, bring synergies in their skills. They're a producer, they've built mines, they know what to do. We also get exposure to the Toronto Stock Exchange. Although our shares are tradable here, they'll be trading in Toronto. That's a much bigger, more liquid, the biggest mining market in the world. And the other thing is increased size. The merged entity will be, say, a $350 million company. It's one that's got much more market relevance. Institutions will be forced to look at it and consider it. It may even fall within some indices, and it'll be one of the bigger mining companies listed on the Australian Exchange. So there are many, many, many benefits to shareholders. Plus, it removes us from a limbo. What are we going to do with Cloncurry? We now know what's going to happen.
Thanks, that sounds terrific. My fifth question would be, as a combined entity, what will your key areas of operation be?
Well, there's going to be two. The first is the Copper Mountain mine. As I said, it's a large, low-grade mine, and the guys there, I really like them. They're really good at what they do. They are going through processes of continuous improvement. It's a large mine, and they're also looking at growing mine life. They recently announced some drilling results beneath pits and so forth, and I fully expect to see a significant improvement in mine life and also a continuing focus on costs in this mature operation. The other one is the Cloncurry project itself, and our intention is to go hard and go fast. The project is essentially ready to build. Copper Mountain have already started working on their team on how they're going to advance this thing, and doing some things that hopefully we can talk about in due course about really fast tracking the project. I'm hopeful we'll start building around the middle of next year, and that with luck, within 18 months, you'll see first product out, so late 2019. So that's the focus. Make Copper Mountain better, make that cash machine work and work better and better, and then double the size of the company in its production by bringing Cloncurry on as soon as possible. So a very exciting proposition.
Also, I understand Altona and Copper Mountain have complementary skills, right? They
do. It's really quite old-fashioned. Copper Mountain is run by a mining engineer and Altona is run by a geologist, so it's yin and yang. Copper Mountain financed, studied, built, ramped up and operate a large, low-grade open-pit copper mine. It's only 0.3% copper. People in Australia struggle to understand that, and they do it very efficiently. Those are skills that we don't have in Altona, and they can bring that to bear on the Cloncurry project. And don't underestimate the value of that. Skill and experience mean a lot, and many companies, many startup projects founder when they try to do this kind of thing. So that's what they bring. What Altona brings to the table, I guess we have a large exploration portfolio. We're quite nimble. We can deliver, if you like, to the combined entity, a lot of exploration news. We've just finished the program of drilling. We'll be talking about that when we get the assays soon. It's a fantastic portfolio of exploration, 4,000 square kilometers, and that's one of the things that attracted Copper Mountain, not just the Cloncurry project to build, but this exploration opportunity, a big strategic asset. So what you're going to end up with is a company with production, development and production growth, cash flow, and then exploration excitement. So it's a very complementary mix of skills and assets.
Thank you. When do you expect the transaction to be completed?
It'll be in March. Unfortunately, this being Australia essentially shuts from mid-December to late January, and the nature of a scheme of arrangement, we require court approval of the various stages, and the courts are closed for that time. So the scheme book, the documentation, will be going out to shareholders in February, and they will be voting in March, and it'll be all over sometime in March is the current schedule.
And anything else you would like to add before we finish?
I think one of the things is a lesson in life for all of us who play in markets and companies. One door opens, one door closes, another one opens. When the Chinese deal fell over, everyone was all a bit glum. Well, in actual fact, I think we've done a better deal. We've done 1 + 1 = 3. We're not diluting at the project level, and we're getting in, frankly, a much more competent and experienced partner in Copper Mountain. And I really like those guys. Jim O'Rourke, the president of Copper Mountain, is a fine man, and his team have impressed me. So it's going to be a lot of fun working with them, building this big new company.
Perfect, Alistair. Thank you very much. All the best with the proposed merger, and this sounds all very really compelling. And yeah, thanks, and bye-bye to Perth. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there was Dr. Alistair Cowden in an interview about the proposed merger with Copper Mountain, and it looks like that this makes really sense. So we look forward to update you and keep you posted. Thanks for watching us. Bye-bye from Munich.